All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Firekeeper Recovery, the community podcast. I'm Brent Grant.
I'm Rob Martens.
Rob Martens.
And on the community podcast, we're going to try to talk about the community, how it's changed and how it has changed for the good and bad. And also share memories and good stories. And with everybody going back to school this week and in the coming weeks, we just want to start off by sharing some school memories and some good, funny, just more positive energy to put out in the community to show that we're coming together and we're healing and remembering the good things. That's what the main focus is, to try to bring mental health healing to the whole community, starting with remembering the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I just want to start by just saying, before we get to the school memories, we're going to share kind of how we met Rob and remember meeting Rob. And I remember it was like the summertime when I first met Rob. And it might not have been when you moved here, maybe you was here for a visit. You were with the twins, Charlie and Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I met you at Super 8. We was getting gas and you were on the back of maybe Buttons or Isaac's truck, somebody.
Yeah.
I don't remember who was that. I just remember Charlie and Jimmy was all like, here's our cousin.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, Rob. All right. And I always remember that. And I don't know if that was when you moved here. I just remember that was the first time.
It was because I think it was the summer before we started 11th grade. Because that's when I moved home, but I was here every summer, so it was very likely that it could have been before that.
Yeah.
Because I would be here all summer, and I've been with the twins since I was a little kid, because they're not really my cousins, but we grew up like cousins because Ike is their kinfolk, and Mars was my kinfolk. But Ike was married to Mars,
Yeah, how about you, man?
I remember when he was coming around, when he first started coming around all them summer times, because that's when the pool hall just opened up a little after that. And we'd always be hanging out there, and he'd start seeing my cousin, Kim.
Yeah. And we played ball, too, up Big Cove way back in the day, when I was in middle school.
Yeah, that's when my dad first started all them basketball tournaments up there.
Yeah, I was definitely the only white-looking boy around, up there. But I was balling up there, man, and we had a good time, man. That was at the old basketball court where the rec center is.
Very first one, ain't it?
Yeah.
Those were fun times back then, because, everybody like Timmy Ray Smith and all them would come up.
Man, it would be a big thing. There would be people all around the court, like you see on TV now, not the N1, but the
Rucker Park.
Yeah, and stuff like that. That's how it would be, It would be either a Big Cove or a Big Y. I don't remember playing none down Birdtown. We played at the projects. But it wasn't It wasn't like at Big Y or a Big Cove.
Yeah. But that was a fun time. But I had a lot of funny memories though. Because I remember when you first started seeing Kim, that's when Dover was, I guess they just recently broke up or something.
Oh, yeah. He was mad about that. We had some beef for a little while. I missed Dover, man.
Yeah.
We got right.
He did. I remember when all that happened.
Young, teenage homeboy stuff,
that's what I say.
You think that's the only girl in the world?
Yeah.
You want 5 for her. Man, there's a whole bunch more.
That's a whole nother episode, man.
So with that, you said you started school here in Wales?
Yeah, I moved home officially the summer before 11th grade, so that had to be 96, something like that. I moved from Okinawa, Japan, where I was living for 4 or 5 years, because my brother's dad was in the Air Force. Nice. So I came from a high school that had 3,000 or 4,000 students to Cherokee. You know what I mean? It was a big change. I met everybody in the whole school on the first day. You know what I mean? And you would never know everybody in your grade in Okinawa. You would never know everybody in your grade.
Just a question on that. Did you go to school with Japanese people or all American?
Everybody was American, but everybody was different nationalities. There was Japanese American, Filipino American, Hawaiian American, Mexican, all different nationalities at one school. But it was a military U.S. school, so everybody spoke English, and You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it ain't nothing like movies where
Not
somebody
like
would
Tokyo
go up
Drift.
there. Yeah. Karate Kid.
Yeah.
No,
Have to go fight.
No, I went to American high school, military school, you know what I mean, which was cool. But we wore like regular clothes unless you were in ROTC, then you wore a military uniform like 2 days a week, you know, which I was. And so, but yeah, it was American school. We had a Burger King in our high school. That's pretty cool.
God
You know,
dang.
yeah, we had a cafeteria and we had Burger King.
So that's probably what helps you kind of. You've always been good at making friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. You can talk to anybody. I just remember our senior trip. You were able to talk to anybody.
Hey, man.
We was all like, where's Rob?
Yeah,
Where's
I was
Rob?
doing all kinds of stuff, man.
And we was all like scared to talk to anybody.
Hey, I was like, don't worry, guys, man. You know, it was so good. That was a really good memory, man.
Yeah.
Senior trip. You couldn't even go on a senior trip at Cherokee High School for many years after our class. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. Because we had so much. They would take them somewhere for 2 days, and that's it. And that was because of our class.
And it wasn't that nobody got in trouble. It was the whole thing.
Yeah, it was chaos, man. We were in New York City, and we would go somewhere as a group, and the chaperones would be like, get us lost, and everybody would just get mad and just leave. You know what I mean?
Go
Split
get
up,
What
and
the heck?
it was crazy, man. And we raised so much money that everything was paid for, and they came around and gave you spending money for like the next day, food money. It was like $100 and some every day. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
It was
If your mom did the fundraiser.
Yeah.
I had like 250.
Oh, yeah.
My mom was at every one of them.
Yeah, we had a great time, man. We did a bunch of epic stuff, though. We went to a Knicks game, a Yankees game. We went to the top of the World Trade Center. Yeah. We went in the United Nations building.
Saw the outside of Empire State Building.
Yeah, and then we went to Cats on Broadway.
Smoking Joe's.
Yeah, the comedies thing. Remember that?
We went to Dangerfield.
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield's Comedy Club. All kinds of stuff, man.
And National Museum, Native American Museum.
Oh, yeah. And we stayed at the Wimbledon, which is 1 block over from Times Square, man. Like right there, man.
Yeah, we got to see the MTV window.
Yeah, you could see it from our
yeah, when we went, it was the Spice Girl that left.
Yeah.
The one who left, I don't remember.
1999. It was 1999, man.
Yeah.
Hell, was that redhead that left them, ain't it?
Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good school memories. Yeah, fun, senior trips. I'm glad they're back taking senior trips again, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's sad that, I was really confused why they stopped because, like you said, nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was the only one that voted for the cruise. Do you remember that when we were all as a class? There was 2 choices: New York City or a cruise that ended at Disney World and then cruised back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was the only one out of like 50 people that voted for the cruise, and I was shocked. I was so disappointed. But then it ended up being like an epic, awesome week in New York, which was fun, man.
That's how it goes. Usually turns out for the best.
We had a blast, man.
Yeah.
I was too busy out getting into trouble.
Yeah, I was, that a big part of the reason I even was able to finish school was when we came back to Cherokee, the work that I had been doing in military school was ahead of Cherokee.
Yeah.
So when I got, in military school, I was just barely making it. I didn't care about school, so I would just do enough to pass, and that was it. But when I got to Cherokee, I was making really good grades, and getting my work done, even though
And that's how I screwed up, because I got to drinking, and I just started wanting to stay home and drink all the time and not even give a damn about high school or nothing. But I tried to keep going to school when I made myself get up to go. And that's when I transferred to Swain out of Cherokee.
Oh, I remember when you were at Swain.
Because I told my grandma, I said, I have to get out of Cherokee if I want to have any chance at graduating. I said, because all my friends are at Cherokee, and when I'm around all my friends, I don't give a fuck.
There was a group of Covers that were all at Swain, though, right? You know,
there was me, Pat, Matt Waddy, Chino West, Brandon Ward, Johnson Sequoia.
Yeah, see, all the Covers went to Swain. How crazy is that? You know what I mean?
And honestly, I wish y'all damn went to Swain that whole time. And after I went down there, I liked it.
You didn't have no problems down there because it was like rednecks.
I had problem with one guy or two people. Yeah. That was it, and that was my fault. I mean, that was all my fault because. See, me and Brandon Ward and Johnson Sequoia, and we had this white friend. His name was Bo Baines. He was some tall, white, like geeky looking boy, but he was cool. He's like some rich kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we met where this football stadium is. You know how you can walk down the steps to get to the school.
Oh yeah.
We made a spot right there where in between the top of the road and where the school is, where all them weeds are. We made us a little spot off the bank right there.
Yeah.
Me, Johnson, and Stringing that wood walk up there every day and get stoned as fuck. And that'd be at lunchtime. We'd do that every lunchtime, every day, and we'd go back to like third period after lunch. And I had third period with String. And that day, I was fried out of my mind. And I come walking back in, and all I remember was he was walking behind me. So I thought in my mind, I said, I'm going to grab his door and shut it behind me before he gets to it. And so I grabbed the door behind me when I was walking in, and I pulled it hard behind me. And I heard somebody go, ah! And it happened to be that some white girl. I smashed in the door, and crushed the heck out of her, too. I said, oh, dang. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I thought that my friend was still behind me. And she was cussing me out and everything. I said, I'm sorry, though. I said, I didn't mean to do that. And then the next day, that's when they said, you know this boy? I said, nah. I said, why? They said, he said he's going to beat your ass for doing that to that girl. I said, well, I told her sorry, I didn't mean to. I said, but if he thinks he can do it, I said, where's he at? And I said, he sees me walking around. Yeah. And so that's how that got started with that boy.
Oh, yeah. That is definitely your fault.
Yeah, it was. And then after that, though, I don't know if you know Justin Lambert. Do you know him?
Which one?
The one, Tool Lambert's brother or cousin.
Cheeks? Did they call him Cheeks?
I think so.
Yeah.
But he seen me because I was in school with them too, and he seen me and he said, you said you don't know Travis? I said, nah. He said, there he is right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he pointed him out, and that boy heard him, and I said, which one? The one walking in the bathroom? He said, yeah. He said, let's get him. I said, let's walk in there. I said, I want to ask him why he's walking around saying that stuff. And then we start walking towards him, and he like runs back out the bathroom all quick and takes off around the corner.
Yeah. It wasn't about it, huh?
Yeah. And so later on that day, like at the end of the day, they called me to the principal's office. He went and told on me. Said I was damn threatening to beat him up.
Dang.
And I wasn't even the one doing it. He was the one talking about saying he was going to hurt me.
Yeah.
You just want to ask him.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what was going on. And then the principal said, you know him? I said, no. I said, I just heard he's been talking about me, saying he's going to beat me up and stuff. And he said, is this true, Travis? He said, no. He said, I heard that too. Everybody's saying that too. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know this boy. And he said, you got issues? I said, why would I have issues? I don't know him. And so they said, well, you stay away from him. If we get any more issues out of the youngsters too, he said, they said they're going to suspend me, not him, though.
Damn.
Yeah. Then after that, like he had some other white boy. He was like some 6'7" tall white boy. I went to the football game, and all of them was standing on the hill, and that boy started taking his jacket off, and they start pointing at me and stuff. I started laughing. I was like, shit, true cover fashion. I wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And so after that, all my Cherokee friends, the older ones too, they like Mario Escobar and all them, they come walking up. They said, what's going on? I said, these boys out here, I believe they want to jump me. I said, that's why I ain't going nowhere. I'm waiting to see what they do. And about fucking everybody from Cherokee come walking up. And all them boys said, no. They grabbed that boy and they all took off. But that's where that ended.
Yeah.
And then I had their state 1A wrestling champ had issues with me for some reason.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think because of that boy.
Oh, hell, it's all connected.
Yeah. And I start laughing. They said, there's that boy that thinks he's bad. And I said, I am bad, damn punk. I said, so you want to find out? Come over here. And he's like, whatever you going to do. I said, well, come over here. And he would never walk over there. So me and Johnson Sequoia walked down the steps to go to the cafeteria. And we got down to the bottom of the steps. I could hear him hollering. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought, punk. You better walk away. But nothing ever led to that either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was passing everything at Swain too.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, where I quit school so early at Cherokee, I was still in 9th grade. I was like 18 years old in 9th grade. And everybody's laughing. They say, what are you doing in 9th grade with all these kids? That's what happens when you drink.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah, but they had me in like senior class, like calculus and all that.
You had to take them ones for 9th grade. You didn't have it.
Yeah. They kicked me back down because they had me in calculus, and I was passing too. And they said, you got Jeremiah in this class? They say, send him back to algebra A, B. Dang, I said, cheat. But I was passing that. The only thing that failed me was they require you to keep all your notes from day one in order.
I would not be good at that.
And you had to turn them in to pass and shit.
Wow.
That's what screwed me. So I just said, screw it. I quit and got my GED a month later, and that was that.
How about you? You remember your first experience at the Cherokee school?
Yeah, definitely, man. So I got there. I knew some people because I had been here, off and on throughout the summers. I knew all my cousins and everybody, and I had friends, but it's not like a new student at Cherokee very often. You know what I mean? That rarely happens, and so I was the new student, and everybody thought I was from Japan because I moved from Okinawa, so that was like everybody's like, you're from Japan? And I'm like, no, I'm from Wrights Creek, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lived in Japan, but it was cool, man. There, a lot of people tried to give me shit, but I wasn't like, I was really cool, and I wasn't a bad person, but then the drugs weren't a thing yet.
Yep.
So I wasn't a thief or anything, I was just really cool. And I made friends everywhere I went. I was friends with the Redneck Natives, I was friends with the Covers, I was friends with the Jocks, I was friends with the Stoners, I was friends with everybody, so I had a really great time at school, and like where I was saying, the work, I was able to keep up, made me feel good about myself, what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did right away assume, take on this role as like a party guy, because I had started smoking pot the summer before I started at Cherokee. I never done stuff like that my whole life until right before I started. Me and my cousin Stevie Ross, me and him were getting high together all the time. So everybody knew me as like a pothead and down for whatever, that's how you guys knew me, you know what I mean? Like, I would do whatever. I was like, hey, let's drink some beer, let's smoke some pot, let's do whatever, And my mom was real cool. She was laid back. She just let,
Once you came home.
Yeah, I was responsible, actually, believe it or not, back then, I was trustworthy, and so, but I had a good experience. I had a really good time at school in Cherokee,
Heck yeah. That's why I remember you was always good. Yeah, that's why I was just, most people come in if they're different. People just want to check their temperature. He's all right.
And if you look like a white boy, it's worse, you know what I mean? Because everybody, there's like some people want to try you and stuff, but then they found out like, oh, that's Stevie and Lopper and Dooner's cousin, and they're like, okay, he's cool,
You remember that white boy that came to school? Then Stoyakovich boy. You don't remember him?
Not
He had he kept his hair up in a ponytail, but he had it shaved. He just had the hair on top of his head because his dad drove that hearse around.
Oh yeah. I don't think I ever paid attention to his name.
Yeah.
That was his name, something like that?
Yeah, his name was Stoy.
Oh, all right, Stoy.
Those Stoy something.
I remember the store.
Yeah, because he didn't go to Cherokee that long.
Yeah, there's some that make it a week or two.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go to Smoky Mountain.
Res School is not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like you got to be resi to be at Cherokee School. You know what I mean? It really is not for everybody.
And it might be easier to be a boy coming to Cherokee.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I've seen many white girls first day just get their hair pulled back in lunch line and right.
Yeah.
Girls can be mean. It's way tough. You know, girls are way meaner than guys. You know what I mean? Like,
For real. They think we're the bad people.
All right, well, along with that, what's some of the changes that you've seen since you've been here that you've liked, and some that have changed for the worse and better?
well, definitely with the school is the actual school, right? You know, I don't know if you remember or not, but Chris McCoy was our class president, and he started a petition saying we want a new school. Do you remember that?
I remember it.
You know, he wanted it, you know, and we all signed it and stuff, you know, and then it ended up happening. I don't know if it happened because of that petition or not, but like I liked the school. I liked where we went to school. You know what I mean? The ramp, and just the way it was set up, you know, and the auditorium, you know. But now the school is freaking beautiful, man. Like, you know, that's a big change I like. And this football stadium is nice, man. Oh, another major change that I really like is that they have soccer at Cherokee now. You know, they didn't have that when we went to school.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all basketball and football.
Yeah, basketball, baseball, football. Yeah, track. But nobody cared about track. You know what I mean? Like, man, I ran track and I was really good at track, man. And me and Critter was there, and I remember my event was the mile run, and it's the very last event, and I would be sitting up in the bleachers smoking cigarettes and stuff, waiting on my event, man, and I'd put my cigarette out and I'd go down there and I'd get in the top 3 every meet until we got to regionals. I got 4th, man. And Critter was like, man, I can't believe you're smoking cigarettes and running track, you know, because he was all innocent back then, man.
He was
in school, man.
He's an athlete.
Man. I remember giving Critter such a hard time because when we were in 11th grade, we went out, we played basketball, you know, we was on varsity, and Critter was like, nah, I'm not going to play. And we were all like, come on, man, you better play. And he waited till the day before the first game to show up. And then he didn't start the first game, but he went right in. Like after 2 minutes and played the whole game. And I was like, man, I've been busting my ass all fucking winter, you know. And I don't even play. You know, I go in like the last minute when we're already getting beat by 40 points. Me, Jason Thompson, and Chris McCoy, we were the bench warmers, man. And we would only go in after we were losing by 30, 40 points, man. And after one of the games, we were on an away game, Bud Smith was like chewing everybody out on the bus, but he was like looking right at me, like right in my face, yelling. And I was like, don't yell at me, I didn't even fucking play. You know what I mean? And everybody busted out laughing, and Bud got real mad, man. But it was, you know, me and all the guys, we all laughed about that for a long time, man. I was like, I didn't even play.
Wasn't lying.
Yeah, man.
It's like when I tried out for school ball, Barry Reed was coaching then.
Basketball?
Middle school. That's the only time I tried out. I probably could have made a team easily, but I made the team. Me and Critter made the team that year. I remember Critter was on the team because he had to guard me. Like we was doing drills like where they guard you and they tell you to dribble around to one end and back. And I didn't know what he meant, what Barry meant. To like act like you actually damn dribbling, trying to go against the opponent. I was just like dribbling down the court, like with my back to him to the other side. And Barry's like, "Damn it, Mike, what are you doing?" He said, "Act like you're really playing against somebody. Dribble like that." I said, "Well, you just said to dribble, so I thought dribbling around like that." And Critter started laughing. And so we was going down that way and there, so I started going between the legs and all that stuff around, and he couldn't guard me. And Barry's like, he said, "See," he said, "it's all I asked of you." I said, "Well, you could start out by saying that."
Organized ball is way different from just playing ball.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It
for
really
real.
is, man.
It is like you got to go by what the coach says in high school. You can't just do our all street ball like we're used to doing.
Yeah, and the coach doesn't have to be nice to you anymore once you get to school level ball. You know what I mean? The coach could chew you out.
Heck
you know what I mean?
And that's one thing I liked about community ball over high school ball was because we had our like dads or somebody else coaching us, and I remember that one year that the high school team was good. That's when Timmy Ray and all them was the high school players. And my dad was coaching like your younger guys like Chigger Bradley and all them. And they went out and they scrimmaged they tore the high school boys up. Yeah, the Bico boys did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal against Timmy Ray and them. You know, 'cause that was a good team. We were horrible when we were in school. In our class, right? Me and Brant were in the same class, and we lost every single game in basketball, and we lost every single game in football. We won one game. That was against Blue Ridge. That's the only team we beat, man. And we didn't just lose; we lost bad, man.
Yeah.
And we had a decent team. I thought, like talent, like it was like Critter, Chunky, Bear Allison, Channing George.
But you think about it, like every one of us didn't really come out of our shell.
No, not until we became adults, really. You know, I didn't get good at basketball. I was horrible at basketball in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody that tried out made the team. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, and we still barely had enough. You know what I mean? Like people didn't want to play ball, you know? But like, it wasn't until after school that I got like pretty good at basketball and started, you know, really doing well at it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't like Chuck. Chuck was all about basketball.
Yeah, I played with you and him. I always played on a men's league team with y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. You know what I mean? I just always played with the Big Cove team, man. Always.
Big Cove Outlaws.
Yeah, man. They were like, they accepted me, man. You know. But my aunt lived in Big Cove. You know what I mean? Like, so I would be up there in the summer times, staying at my Aunt Carolyn's house, and that's how I got tight with all the Big Cove guys. You know, so I would just be up. My cousin Lopper would always be up there chasing women. You know, and he had a car. You know what I mean?
He did. He was one of the few that did have a car.
System in it, and then me and my cousin Stevie, my Aunt Carolyn would make him take us with him. You know what I mean? And we thought that was the coolest shit ever, man. That's when that "I'll Be Missing You" by Puff Daddy song was out, man. I bet we listened to that thing on repeat for 3 weeks, man, in his car with the system up, man. Everywhere we went, he was bumping that shit. And he always hung out with Justin and Bobby Sulphur, and that's how I started playing ball in Big Cove was with Justin French.
Yeah, that's probably the thing I miss probably the most about like the high school area. Our school is the Civic Center. I know there's a generation that's a bad memory because it was a court.
Yeah.
And you probably hate the Civic Center. Because that was like that was when drug court was.
Yeah, they don't know about it used to be the spot after school to hang out and play ball, you know? That's where you went.
The thing that I hated though was when they put that damn carpet over the court.
That carpet was funky, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I hated damn people twisting their ankles and everything because they just like come to a complete stop and stuff.
Yeah, and like the men's league was so much. I'm sorry, rec department, Mom, you work men's league, but men's league was a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was like the NBA. It felt like the NBA back then, man.
Back then, that gym be packed with people there watching and everything.
All the kids running around.
Yeah, because that's how much competition there was. Everybody was that good back in the days.
Yeah, every team was like a good team. You know what I mean?
Everybody had their teams every year. The Big Cove Outlaws, NRBQ, that was Bopper.
Yeah, Bopper and them.
Rough Creek, that was my dad. Phil Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
There was another one, but the NRBQ's one I remember. Just like, why does that mean? But then there was a whole bunch of them legends up there, like Garfield Harris.
Yeah.
Your dad was with them.
See, I remember that, like you said, they had Big Cove Outlaws, but then one of them players took that name from my dad. They put it on their team, and my dad came up with a different one, and I can't remember what he called themselves after that Big Cove Outlaws.
Yo, your dad could ball, and he was a little motherfucker too, man. He could ball, man. He had that shot, man. You do the same thing. That hook shot, man.
He just won't shoot.
He likes to pass. Get the long court pass, get the rebound. Him and Gary. Get the rebound.
Yeah, I think that natives invented snowbirding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like for real, because you don't like. I played ball all over the world, different places, you know, growing up and stuff, and that was never like a tactic. You know what I mean? Until I got back to the res, man. You know, like if you're at the top and they're going to the basket, you know, and they get by you, just go on down the court and somebody's gonna bomb it to you, you know.
For real.
I scored a lot of points like that, man.
Yeah.
Especially back at the Paint Town gym.
Yeah.
I remember that one year we was playing community ball, and it was me, Pat Hill, who else? Everett Bradley. We had like a little mediocre team compared to the other teams, because the other teams were kind of stacked. But we ended up tearing everybody up that year, and that's what we was doing. We was just snowbirding everybody the whole time, and that we played the championship game. Whoever won that game got to go to NAO that year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and so we played, we tore that team up. I think it was them boys from Robbinsville who we beat. But I had like about 34 points because I was snowbirding the whole time.
I wonder if they call it snowbirding down snowbird.
I think so.
It's called but that's probably my athletic achievement was the center ball. Like when we beat Chins that one, Soko Way versus Soko or Bico Way. That was, and all my friends was on the Bico team. I was like, dang, I'd rather be on like Jess and Maya and Chris and them. And Jamie Panther. And we had Shannon and Michael Lambert, the
Travis.
What they call him? John Burgess.
Yeah, John Burgess.
Bird Eye, yeah, we had a good little rivalry.
Yeah.
I fell off after that. Everybody caught up with me. I wasn't bigger than everybody else.
You remember they had all them pictures on the wall of all the teams like throughout the years?
Oh yeah, like with the t-shirts with the different Paint Town colors, Soko colors.
That was seriously really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the little league they got now, it does not compare to what we grew up being able to do like that. It seriously don't. I know the kids have fun and all, but I just don't think it's anything like what we grew up with.
Yeah, well, now is what it is like a lot of them are going to Jackson County and other
playing like travel league and stuff.
Yeah. That's good for competitive, but not for community.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's why it was competitive. Like we probably didn't like each other while we played ball, but we were still like after the game, running around and getting a pizza from the.
I wonder if like technology is playing a factor in that. You know what I mean? Like people aren't connected like they used to be because
I think so.
Cell phones and you know what I mean?
I guarantee you, if we had a cell phone back in our day, we wouldn't even be doing what we doing.
We might not be as good of friends as we are now.
Yeah, probably so. I see what you're saying.
It seems like it would be the opposite, right? It seems like we would be more connected because we have these devices, you know what I mean, and this internet capabilities. It seems like it would be the opposite, but that we would be more connected because we can reach out to each other. Like I could call you anywhere. Back in the day, you just had a house phone. You know what I mean? And if you wasn't home, you wasn't home. You know what I mean?
With that 50-foot long cord, take it outside from the kitchen.
But that's weird that it's the opposite. You know what I mean? Like now, you know.
Yeah, it's probably the way to communicate. Because if you're in person, you really have a conversation. But if somebody asks you, "How you doing?" He's like, "Good."
It's not as
just
personal.
text it out.
You know, like that's like an email is boring. Like I get emails all the time at work. You know what I mean? It's one, and then a text message. You know, it's not very personal. A text message is, you know, you can talk however you want to. A phone call is a little more personal than a text message. But then actually going to see somebody, that's when it's like face to face. You're right. That's more of a heartfelt gesture. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's definitely different. You know what I mean? Like
big time.
Like even like my kids, like they're tight with their first cousins. You know what I mean? But then when you get to like second, third cousins, it almost feels like it's different. You know what I mean? But when we were kids, like all my cousins were just my cousins. I wasn't like, oh, that's my second cousin, or it was like, yo, that's my cousin. You know what I mean? And that equals like my sibling. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Because that's seriously what they was like. Like, your brother was your cousin.
And it was the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
real.
Like, my brother Matthew, me and him will forever be brothers. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, like, I'm gonna ride and die for my brother. You know what I mean? But it was like that when I was a kid with my cousins too, Lauper and Dooner and Stevie. You know what I mean? Nick, Reed. We were like,
See, that's how it was with me and Pat and Davey and him.
Yeah.
Like Davey was seriously like he was like my brother.
Yeah.
All growing up my whole life, he's always been by my side. Like
I always seen you guys together.
if we ever got it, if I was ever in a bind, he would be there to help me out if I needed him to. And the same, he would say the same for me. I'd be there to help him out. And I had been like. I had to a couple times because he got like cheap shot a few times, and I just don't like people cheap shotting
Davey
nobody.
could get some stuff started.
He did, for real.
Me and him got jumped in Bryson by some white dudes after a football game one time, and I don't even remember why. We were just, you know what I mean? Like, I think that they didn't think I was with him because I looked like a white boy, and they rode up on him, so I was like, what's up? And to this day, Davey would be like, yo, man, that shit was cool, you know what I mean? Like, you had my back, I was like, yeah, man. I guess for me, like, my number, would have been Stevie Ross, you know what I mean? Like, if that was like my brother too, like that, me and him were the closest of all me and my cousins, you know what I mean? Me, him, and Dooner. Dooner was a little older than us, but, it would be Stevie or Dooner, like, we were like tight, What about you? Who was one of your cousins that?
Well, like my closest is probably Sam.
Yeah.
But the one who was like a brother was Bill.
Oh yeah. They were brother and sister.
Yeah, he's like the little, like the little brother.
Yeah.
That's who I kind of like. When I look back, I was kind of mean to him. I was probably the one who gave him his like aggressive streak because I used to practice my wrestling moves on him.
He was always about to wrestle.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, I was probably one who made him always want to choke people out, and I was aggressive.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know at the time. But that's what's good about like family and memories.
Mention that. One of my cousins, I would do that to him all the time too. And I told him, I said, you ever been put in line tamer? He said, what? I said, what the heck's a line tamer? I said, come here, let me show you real quick. And I ran over there like we was at a motel room. He's hanging out with us. And he was young back then too. And I was like over there, I said, come here. And I threw him down and threw him on his damn stomach, and I damn sat on his back.
Yeah, the line tamer. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then I had him all bowed up.
Who was that wrestler that did that?
Dean Malenko, Jericho too. And I did that to him. I had him on there. He said, and he's trying to tap out.
That shit would hurt, man. Line tamer, man.
I was mean to my cousin. I admit I was, but I would do anything for him. He knew it too. He knew I would.
We was also the only ones that could be mean to him.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
See, my cousin, her boyfriend, he did that. Like, he was trying to be mean to him, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, that boy was like trying to be smarty with him and stuff. I mean, he was way bigger than him too. He was maybe about a year or two younger than me. And my little cousin, he's like about 7, 8 years younger than me. So he's a little kid. And my brother Chuck was up there at his house that night, and that boy was trying to fight with him and stuff. And Chuck was out there standing there talking shit to him all night, like you said, because he knew we wasn't doing nothing to him, just fucking with him. But that boy tried to fight him, then Chuck beat his ass too. He fired him up big time, and he said, "You don't mess with my cousin now." He said, "You gonna run your mouth? You run your mouth to me." But while he's standing there talking shit.
I can say, but you can't.
Yeah, for real.
It'd be like that sometimes, definitely.
It's like protection, that's what family is. Yeah. Man, I think it's both for sharing these stories, man. We've had a good conversation. We didn't get into all of them, but
hey, man, it's just good to reminisce about them old times, man, for real.
So, y'all, like, for in the future, if you'd like to come on in the month of September, comment in the comments below. Maybe we can get you on, because in September we want to talk about fall festival memories. And in October, we'll talk about boogers and skillies. So if any of that interests you and you want to come on and share your stories, experiences, we want to hear them. We want to share them with the rest of the community, because that's the point of this podcast, is to start bringing community back together and just embracing each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, recovery can be like a really good time, and it doesn't always have to be like a recovery talk. If you're just with sober people talking about things that make you smile and laugh, like it's good medicine, definitely.
Right. That really helps out big time, more than people realize that it does. Because once you see that people are actually listening to you and not judging you, then they'll be more comfortable about coming out with what's the issue with them that's bothering them, the one you keep using and stuff.
And that's not the only thing we're healing. We're trying to heal the community altogether. Because just because people aren't on drugs or alcohol, they are maybe
depressed.
Depressed, and they're feeding themselves with food or just like negative. So it's like you on social media spreading that. You just want to make other people feel bad. I think that's the problem with the whole society. That's what Twitter is now. Is like, I want to hurt you because I'm feeling bad. So that's what the concept is just like, let's heal together.
Yeah. You said it before we started filming. We were talking and you said I want to talk about things like this, like what we talked about today, to help heal mentally and stuff. And that is a really good point that you brought up, because that's exactly what we were just doing, and showing the people like that you can do, you can hang out and just have conversations.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's part of the healing too. You know what I mean? Just having a good sober time, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I always think about wanting to go back and hang out with all my old school friends and stuff like we used to do. But now everybody's all grown up and being adults and has families and
it's
stuff.
Not the same, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
We've all grown to be better people now. But now we can have these adult conversations.
Yeah.
So I was thanking for joining me. And hey, that's Firekeeper Recovery, the community podcast. And as always, I'm Brant Grant.
Rob Martens.
Dog Peasy.
And as always, we'll leave the light on for you. I said as always too many times.